I've been thinking about the recent interview Dave Filoni gave with Empire magazine, where he teases some big changes coming with Grand Admiral Thrawn. I covered this in a previous video, but Filoni talks about Hera Syndulla being Thrawn's biggest foe. But what about in Peridea? We have Baylan, Shin, Ahsoka and Sabine. And it just dawned on me, the next time we're going to see Ahsoka, which I do believe is going to be before Dave Filoni's film, she's going to undergo a pretty big change. Because Season 1 left us with a huge mystery I think they need to solve. And the answer to this is going to change how we see her character fight. You see, Ahsoka lost her shorter, Shoto-style lightsaber in the finale of Season 1, fighting Morgan Elsbeth. There is a pressing reason during her exile that she's going to deem it necessary to acquire a replacement. At the end of the day, on Peridea she's going to have to face Baylan again, even though she's faced him twice before. Setting aside discussions of recasting and the way they're going to continue Ray Stevenson's character, I fully believe before Ray's passing, Filoni intended Baylan and Ahsoka to have a third and maybe final duel in a second season, showing the audience a satisfying payoff for the previous two. Whatever Baylan is looking for, and if it's connected to the Mortis gods, it's something he believes is going to bring him power. But how is Ahsoka going to fight back? I want to explore this logically, but also let's have a bit of fun. What we know for certain is Ahsoka's second lightsaber was destroyed. This is going to cause a major problem for Ahsoka down the line, given she still has enemies on Peridea. It may not even be Baylan, maybe Shin. The main characters left behind in the new galaxy has set up a massive and epic twist for what's to come, given they're all Force sensitive. But Ahsoka is certain of one thing, she's exactly where she needs to be. And that logically means she'll find herself learning these same secrets, the ones Baylan knows, but maybe through a different source, such as Anakin's Force ghost, watching over them. But with this comes danger, because I'm sure Filoni wants to explore Peridea in a wider way. Now typically, in any other situation, you might say Ahsoka would do just fine with the one blade, but we know from Season 1 of Ahsoka, that doesn't apply when she fights Baylan. Even when she used two in their second fight, it was a deadlock. But having both allows her to fight with her natural style, which in turn gives us something of a fighting chance, given the fact Baylan is able to overpower her with his strength, as he did on Cetos when she just used the one. So in my opinion, she's gonna have Huyang build her a second. The first time Ahsoka struggled to defeat Baylan, we were all stunned. The ending of Chapter 4 was an Empire Strikes Back moment where we realised our heroes are defeatable, but we also started to take Baylan Skoll much more seriously. It's important to note, Ahsoka was fighting at a disadvantage, and going forward, just as in their second duel on Peridea, given her fighting style she will need a second blade. As a master of what is a mixture of Chien and Ataru, she relies on acrobatics when using both blades, but is also effective close range and puts emphasis on offensive, unpredictable attacks. But here's what's interesting. She uses both blades in the second duel against Baylan, but not in the first. The first time, the reason she used one was that her primary objective was to grab the star map. Not only this, they were in a confined space, which meant using Ataru was not convenient, and so, to combat Baylan's heavy-handed, long swings and brute strength, she decided to just use the one, often holding it with both hands, because she had to combat that strength that she eventually lost to and was pushed off the cliff. And in a way, facing Baylan Skoll in that moment reminded her of the time she tried to use two lightsabers on Vader in Star Wars Rebels. It didn't work against her former master turned Sith Lord because of his aggressive fighting style, and the same applied to Baylan. And so, in preparation for the second time they met, she reverted to her classic style. And ultimately putting pedantic lightsaber forms aside, Filoni wanted to show Baylan is a worthy adversary, once a Jedi Master who's gone down a dark Jedi path, and now looking for the beginning. Dave wanted to show that essentially, Baylan is someone who is not to be messed with and not underestimated. I can't imagine this is not going to come into play the next time Ahsoka faces him, and so I believe she's going to need that second blade. A replacement Shoto saber will allow Ahsoka to double down on her aggressive Jarkai. She will need to exploit Baylan's weaknesses, which in this case could mean faster response times, as he tends to take slow, yet mighty and aggressive slashes. And this is where things get rather interesting, because there is something to note about Ahsoka. She doesn't do well with unfamiliar, and new sabers. She is very picky about the way lightsaber hilts feel in her hands. This is best described in E.K. Johnston's Ahsoka novel, which I know Dave Filoni's kind of retconned here and there, but when she crafted her new hilts from scrap metal, she notes it took her a long time to adjust to them. Ahsoka mentions she misses the ones she left behind at the end of the Clone Wars Season 7, the ones Vader later found. The comfortability of lightsaber hilts are a big part of a Jedi's weapon, and also the way it reflects their personality. It's custom for a reason, an extension of the way they fight. And now that Ahsoka's forced to construct another hilt at a different point in her life, is the style going to be the same, or are they going to choose a design that is more reflective of where she is now? Maybe one that encompasses a design style of the Skywalker saber of her master Anakin. But let's be real, in the context of practicality, if Dave Filoni wants her to have a new look, he's going to do it. And they may not get caught up in the nitty-gritty if it serves the plot. But either way, if she does construct a new lightsaber hilt, a new Shoto, what about the kyber crystal? Is it going to be white? And I believe in the same way Huyang helped Ezra build his new lightsaber, he's going to help Ahsoka, considering he and Sabine Wren are also still on Peridia. Constructed 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga, Huyang has helped generations of Jedi construct their lightsabers. He had the necessary parts on board the ship for Ezra Bridger, and even had a rare kyber crystal for him to use. It's very likely Huyang is going to help Ahsoka build another hilt, and even give her another crystal, even though she may not have the same connection to it as she did the former. But the way this is going to look and impact her fighting style will be pretty fascinating, and I know Star Wars fans have various opinions and theories on how this is going to look. But I believe it's pretty crucial that Huyang stayed behind, primarily for plot reasons. Ahsoka's white blades come from a purified bled crystal she took from an Inquisitor. More challenging though, will be reconstructing the hilts to Ahsoka's specifications, but she's got the best droid for the job. And while some fans think it's possible she's going to recover the Shoto, Grand Admiral Thrawn destroyed the temple where he and the Night Sisters were getting supplies from, so it's probably going to be a new one from scratch. Or is she going to train to be more proficient with just the single blade? As I say though, Ahsoka gave audiences fantastic duels, and hopefully that's going to continue not just in Ahsoka Season 2, but beyond. And even outside the Mandoverse in 2024, a show like The Acolyte, which is all about the Jedi and the Sith, promises similar fast-paced duels. But I can't wait to see the expansion of characters like Shin. She's another mystery. At the end of Season 1, Peridia is now full of danger, and 4 Force users, 3 individual parties, with their own motives and goals. Share your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.